past weekend in America, the sci-fi adventure After Earth opened at the box office, starring Will Smith and his son Jaden, and it landed with a bit of a thud. It was both a critical and commercial disappointment. It could definitely have been better news for its director, M Night Shyamalan, who's had a string of misfires. He was once talked of as the film industry's next Hitchcock or Spielberg.
Let's reset.
Everything else was great. That was great.
The director burst onto the movie scene with the 1999 supernatural thriller The Sixth Sense, starring Bruce Willis, which had a breathtaking surprise twist. He's made 7 films since then.
The Sixth Sense was not only was it a big hit, it was a surprise hit, which somehow, I think, magnifies the level of hit it was, because it was from this relatively unknown director. He had made these 2 very small films before it. It came out of nowhere. It had this huge word-of-mouth twist. You had to see it. Everyone was talking about it. It became a huge deal. And then the movies after that, immediately after that, were Unbreakable, which was a moderate success, and then Signs, which was another fairly substantial hit. So he had 3 pretty good and pretty successful movies in a row, and then it's sort of been a steady decline since then.
Shyamalan's new film, After Earth, tells the story of a military veteran and his son, played by the real father and son acting duo of Will and Jaden Smith. It's set on Earth 1,000 years in the future. The planet has become hostile to humans. It's the story of a son finding his strength, proving himself, and gaining parental acceptance.
We were sitting around, we were trying to come up with something to do together, and we were thinking about father and son bonding, what kind of things happen. The story was originally set present day, and there was a military veteran coming home, and then the idea of setting it 1,000 years in the future really exploded the creative and the concept.
After Earth marks the first time that M Night Shyamalan has worked as a director for hire. He collaborated on the script with a British screenwriter. The film is based on a story from Will Smith.
It was a great opportunity to work with Will. He's a friend of mine. I finally got to make a movie with him. And Jaden kind of is the one that brought us together. So it's super organic. We're both fathers of teenagers, and the movie's about kind of letting go of your children to become who they were going to become. So it's a great moment for both of us.
In its opening weekend, After Earth came in at number 3 at the US box office, bringing in a disappointing $27 million. It cost $130 million to make. Critics didn't like it, describing it as lifeless. So what's happened to the once promising talent of M Night Shyamalan?
Just as an observer, I see a guy who seems to have maybe gotten a little in love with himself and with his thing and his whole persona. He seems to have a trouble accepting criticism. So maybe that's the story. Maybe that's what happened to him. He was very successful, very brilliant, but maybe got too in love with his own brilliance, as it were.
Shyamalan has been getting a battering from the press. In reviewing After Earth, one New York film critic predicted that M Night Shyamalan would be lucky to get a gig directing Traffic.
Do you feel that the media, in a way, is quite harsh on you because they judge you? They say that you had a big hit with The Sixth Sense, but it's been downhill since then. What's your response to that?
He's such a sweet guy, I actually don't pay attention to any of that. I've had a wonderful. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. These movies I got to make.
It's too soon to cast off M Night Shyamalan. He may have had poor reviews, but his 9 films have taken in more than $2 billion at the box office.
What's more, he may find salvation this weekend when After Earth opens up at cinemas around the world, where Will Smith's star power and the story itself has more sway with audiences than it has had in the United States. At least that's what the studio backing this film hopes is the case.